Jason is here.
Please like today's show. Leave a comment, drop a chat, and send some cash. Then leave here and come with my show. Don't do that last part. Sorry, Santa was trying to help me at first because he knew that I needed help starting the show, and then he tried to make it into his own plug, as Santa does.
That's fascinating. Hey, listen, dummies, you better like and leave a comment. All right, we're not talking. We're not giving you no scoops. All right.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You leave a comment. You engage with that algorithm, dummies.
Yeah.
Right. And you feed Bespin with super chats. Right. You do it, or we stop scooping.
I keep all those. I keep all those.
Yeah, he keeps all those.
Don't.
I don't get fed from those.
Yeah. Don't.
You gotta give Jason his in and out.
The tool rules of the show. Bespin. He number one, he cannot be live on video. Only me. He does not get the super chat money. Only me. And he must have use a microphone that's not as good as mine. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
You know, we need to start that. We need to get that.
Come on.
New rumor.
Get out of here with that.
I don't like the show because of what Jason does to Bespin.
I have all the equipment other than a computer. I have the mic, everything.
Today's computer is brought to you by Tom Harris. Tom's Computer. It does Star Wars shows. Sorry.
There you go.
How's it going, guys?
Wow.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Bespin is.
I mean, Bespin. How what's been going on in Bespin Town?
Is this the first one I've done this week?
You know what? Let's just say yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's not been good. So like, it's not been great. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To the point where like Jason, like from across the ocean, had to feed me yesterday and today. So
because he was in the UK, I had to get him a McDonald's, not just McDonald's, but a McDonald's, which is good. Because I think the McRib is back over there. Is that true? Or did I just make that up?
Made that up. We never really have that at the moment. It is a big tasty and Frank's hot sauce McSpicy. That's
your fucking problem right there, you guys, across the board. Economically, like across the board. If you guys bring back the McRib, it'll stimulate the whole economy. You'll be thriving.
We'll be out of recession then.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think it'll undo. Res Rob was gonna say Brexit. It'll undo Brexit. You guys all come together. You guys will stop having kings and queens and stupid shit like that.
I hate the Brexit shit so much. Like,
wait,
because
in real life or when Rob says it?
No, in real life.
Okay.
Because it's to the point of like absolute stupidity, where you have the Brexit deniers of like, no, this is the we have like really bad inflation and everything anyway, whatever. But stuff that contributes to it is like the Brexit stuff. You know, like we got a lot of our stuff from Europe, like car parts, and which I've definitely been back with. Here's why I know this. And like our car insurance and like that's been affected by it, and like food. So, you know, and like you got the Brexit deniers like, no, Brexit had nothing to do with it. Like, wait, just because some of you lot are racist, like I've got to deal with this shit. You know, this is my life. You know, like it's bonkers. So yeah, it's not been great. Yeah, like I was just watching like a video on Brexit last night. I'm just like, it was all the whitest of people you can imagine. And they're swinging British flags, going, oh, Britannia. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, like, Britannia.
Oh, Britannia. We're racist just like the United States.
Yeah. Well, we came from them. They just kind of exported it. Really, it's their fault, not us.
Yeah. It's your fault. You're older.
All my cultural insensitivities, it's their fault.
If you guys had just eliminated the Quakers, none of us would be dealing with this right now. All right.
Then we wouldn't have oatmeal. I think
England conquered Wales as well. So, you know.
So that makes you even bigger pussies than us because we beat them.
Is that why Azatru's superior to you?
Answer true is not superior for me.
Okay, all right.
Other than
I don't know. He has 100,000 people on YouTube.
He has tea 3 times a day. I think that caffeine boost is going to allow him just to outpunch you.
yeah.
You know, he's pretty good at Fortnite. Just saying.
Hey, I'm pretty good at Fortnite. I'm not taking this heat. Right?
Okay.
Answer true is one of the most British people I've ever known.
He is my most British of friends. He really is. He was telling me, I hope he doesn't feel like I'm throwing him under the bus, but he was like, he came on a trip to the US for, you know, a EA event or something probably. And he's like, yeah, so I brought my own tea. So that way I could, you know, that I saved for the trip. And then he's like, they didn't have a kettle in the hotel, so I couldn't make it. What are these accommodations?
It's a kettle.
Yeah.
He didn't have a kettle. When he says kettle.
Yeah. Tom says, "What's up, Bestman? How can I help?" So yeah, Bestman, he went through. What I'm gonna say is, you know, those evil garage guys who are like, oh yeah, bro, you like, you know, you need a new carburetor, and then you need your brake lights.
And what you need is the tomato meter to go into the Muscolini. What with the Muscolini? Yeah,
he knows. He's been doing this garage stuff for about 15 years now, and this fucking guy from Wales, he's in real danger.
A woke engine, Bespin. You got a woke engine, and we gotta unwoke it. So it's gonna cost you 1,400 smackaroonies.
What I recommend is you go with my friend's repairs, and then you get a Sydney Sweeney extra big booby job air freshener right there on the front, and you'll be just ready to go.
Yeah, we gotta Madam Web this shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3 broads in carburetor.
Yeah.
I found the problem of why I've been ruined financially by this is because I've seemingly taken the car to fucking New York to get inspected. That's
a big problem for you. Yeah. We don't like you guys.
The reason why you's fat is you got a carburetor and you need a low keterator, right? You need a low carburetor. That's what you need is a low carb. So
Can I just get fat shamed for like my car needing repairs?
Yes. Look, Bestman, you can't predict me. All right. I love you, but I'll throw an insult out randomly when you least expect it. That's
I didn't expect that. That was
yeah. Come on, carburetor, low carburetor. It's a good joke. No.
Yeah. It was good. Was pretty good. It was good.
Yeah. So, you know, anyways, all joking aside, people went and essentially made it sound like he needed more than he did, and they have like a yearly inspection that must be done in order to, like, essentially, like in the US we need our tags in order to do that. These guys went and were like, oh, it's like $1,000, and then they're like, oh, actually that didn't work, you didn't pass the inspection, like the smog test kind of thing. So then he goes and he has to get more money out of his ass that he somehow pulls out, and then they're like, oh yeah, okay, you passed. But when he goes into the back seat of his car, he sees the part is still in the box. They never even installed the thing. That's why it didn't pass. And they've already taken the money from him. And they're just like, so he has to fight for the money back. By the time he gets the money back, it's going to be a whole different part of the year for the guy.
It was more than that. It was like, I spent like a bunch of money on things that they told me I needed fixing. And then they told me none of that like solved it. So I had parts fitted to the car that didn't need replacing.
And so, you know, he's struggling to eat, and we tried to give him money, but because we're always supporting his broke ass, he won't let us do anything. So he needs you guys.
Yeah, he tried to send it back. He tried to send the money back, and
he thinks he's mooching off us, you know, and that's a shame. But at the same time, it saves me a few bucks. So I need Tom or someone else to pick up the tab here, right? Like what?
Don't come on, Tom. Don't be calling on Tom.
Okay, all right, Santa, you got toys. You got black. Remember when Santa gave away like a Black Label toy, like a Boba Fett, like a high-end figure? Remember that? He just gave it away. He could have hawked that for Bespin, you know?
Oh, basically, last week I had to drop like 700 because that's what I was told it was all going to be, and then come Monday,
Santa,
it was another 700. So
Santa, why don't you take some of that Godspell money, right? You're slinging down in Gatlinburg 3 times a year, and then hook up Bespin with a meal.
It's all good.
How about that? With the HelloFresh, right? Like, speaking of HelloFresh, let's go to our next sponsor, HelloFresh. Right?
No,
we don't feed it. What? No, all right. No,
they will actually think that I have sponsors, and I'm not. Yeah, so this show keeps getting demonetized because we say the fuck word a lot.
No,
And,
demonetized.
but
not
they just look for
monetized.
any words. Yeah.
We get
Well,
demonetized.
Before we move on, can I like shout out to the people that helped out over the
Yeah.
last? So
Tom just did. Tom just helped out. Thank you, Tom.
Aw, Tom. I was only Roka-ing you. I didn't,
No, Tom
know
is way too nice and too good for us. And so thank you, Tom. We
He's
don't
a better
we don't,
man than us.
every single show I mean to go, this show's brought to you by Tom's computer. Without Tom, there is no show. There wouldn't be one right now. So look, yeah, so we got Tom gave a tip. Thank you, Tom.
So
Jordan Mason's cum stained sweatpants gave a tip. Guess I get a McDonald's. Thank you, Jordan Mason's cum stained sweatpants. Buckle gave a tip. Who Cal Penn? Is that the guy? Is that the guy who does? Is that the guy from
CPL Ken? Chris Morasso, James, Darth Del Rio, who I unblocked on Twitter. Mark Yeaney, Mike Yeaney. What was it, Mark? Mike
Risman, the Matt Risman.
Kyle, and obviously you. So
Hames,
yeah.
Mike Yeaney. That was a week ago. Thank you, Mike. And then 11 days ago, another James. So yeah, you guys.
It's the same James.
Same James.
Same
James. I like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's been super appreciated. Anybody that's helped out this week, even just emotionally, there's been a lot. Like on Monday, I called Jason and I was fucking raging,
I was worried about you. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this guy, he's ready to take on the whole empire by himself. But
yeah, I had to get on some meds. So
yeah, that's the way it goes.
It wasn't a great week.
Yeah.
So, and now we're here doing a John Roca. So
yeah. All right, now listen here. Give us money. No, that's actually not his voice at all. I don't know how I can do. I don't watch it.
Come on, people. Come on. For the love of God. What are you doing?
It's Tom Harris, the only guy with any balls in this chat today. Sorry.
Right. A little Alex Jonesy, right? But
yeah.
I like Roka. Just if I do an impersonation, he'll block me on socials. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
I do a Snyder impression. I can't do a Roka impression, and I'm not going to do.
I like Roka. I just want people. I got a photo with Roka, right? So people want to know.
Your Bespin's Snyder impression really sounds like an old timey Sam Spade kind of detective guy. Yeah. Come on, how do you do it? You're like it's always. You're like, come on, Dad. I'm going like,
come on, Dad. You wanna? Yeah, he goes kind of like.
I'm going jerky boys. I'll bring my glasses. But
Johnny boy, he does that, right? Yeah. Bespin, feed me. Oh yeah, it's true. Hey, look, Thomas. Most women have instant regret when it comes to me. So just yeah, jump in the pool.
You got somebody to marry you though, so
you did.
Yeah,
and stay with you.
I took 10 years, but I wore her down.
I could get him to marry me. I should get him to stay. So yeah, good job.
Yeah. I make a good spaghetti.
Oh, you know what it is? Is they think that's when you say spaghetti, that's appropriate. It's spaghetti. It's plural.
No, it's spaghetti.
No,
I make a spaghetti.
You're talking like a mechanic right now that's ripping off Bestman. That's what you're talking like.
Dude, I never want to see those fucking guys again. Do you know the cheek they had to me to say on Monday? Oh, we'll see you next year. I was like fuck you, Will.
Yeah, fuck you.
As they rip you off. See you next year, stupid.
What I've done, I think because my writing skills aren't complete trash, and you have very good writing skills, like I said. Is I leave the fucking Yelp review, the honest one, so that way they can't come at me and sue me for anything like that. And most of the time, whenever I try it, they do end up like rolling back the issue. Just take it down, please. They realize it's like more of a detriment
than a gain. To the place that I bought my car from, because a week into having it, like my clutch went, and like obviously I've got to, you've got like a certain amount of time to return it, and they said, okay, we'll fix it, of course. I just gave us a quote, and then every quote I had, they said was too high, and they were like, you got to pay it. So I ended up doing like when you did a review, and
Yeah.
yeah, they did it. I think
Yeah, it can work. I mean, it's like don't be a Karen about it, but if you're being honest, hey,
yeah,
like that is what it is.
I like to think I'm pretty honest, so
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think I've
yeah.
just been.
No, I was having to scream at you. You need to get these motherfuckers, and you're kind of just like, well, I'm fucked, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yeah. But all right. So this kind of broke on the show the other day, and
Mhm.
we kind of like glossed over it. You wrote an article up for it, so I figured that we would get into like just a couple of the points, about what is going on with Acolyte, what's on the horizon. And your article at bestmanbulletin.com is Star Wars The Acolyte trailer is coming. Episode lengths range from 30 to 45 minutes. Now, I got to say, in terms of not being clickbait,
Mhm.
I've never seen something more not clickbait than this title. Might be a little bit of an overcorrection. You do want them to kind of click on the article still, but this is your best article. This is your big article, right? This has been the biggest article of the 2024.
Yeah, this has been. It's not my report, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been one of the most viewed ones, along with the one that came before, which is the one you read the other day about the lightsabers and Jedi being a factor into, or lack of being a factor into EA canceling the respawn FPS.
Right.
For some reason, fans, and we've noticed this before with past Star Wars shows, they like to read about runtimes.
Yes.
Whether it's in a positive light or a negative one. Yeah, like there's a theme that happens each time that a section of fans aren't very happy if it's less than an hour. But obviously with Star Wars shows, we've got to a point where we sort of expect that now, right? Like we expect it always to be under an hour, like with the live action shows. Like they all average around 40 minutes, right? Like
that was the thing about back in the day, like around the time I think it was Book of Boba Fett. A friend of mine on set could see the scripts pretty regularly, and was like, the scripts are 60 pages. You know what I mean? Like the scripts are like 50 to 60 pages. And as that's going on, I have like these Star Wars theory types are out there going, oh, the episodes are over an hour. They're an hour long and shit like that. And I'm just like, they don't script things to be 2 hours long. If they had a script that was 2 hours, they would just take the scissors and cut it right in half and make it 2 episodes, and then they would be under an hour again. Like, I don't know why this is continually a topic of discussion. I don't know why after 5 shows or whatever, it's like everybody's first rodeo again. Like, this is the kind of baby brain shit I've been bitching about the last like week with the Star Wars fandom. It's like a fucking reset every single time. Like, if We Got This Covered puts out a Star Wars story and it's an exclusive about the next show being about Dr. Aphra, and you believe it, and you're not 10 years old, or you haven't been, or you've been on Star Wars internet for the last couple of years, you have something wrong with your brain. And like, it continually is a reset every single time. And now, if they ever say like a show, let's just pretend they come right out and they say the show's 4 episodes. There's a chance we could have a show down someday that's 4 episodes and they're like an hour and 10. It could just go that way. It's possible, but that would never be what Disney Plus would want, as they want to retain subscribers. Therefore, hitting around 2 months of having to be subscribed is the goal for every show. Like, that's how they are budgeted. That's how they are seen. So, but once again, I got to give a lot of credit to what is his name? He changed it. Critical 4K quality now. Is that what it is now?
Cryptic 4K.
Yeah, Cryptic 4K
his name's in the article.
Yeah. No, that's what you wrote. Anyways, here's what it says. Lucasfilm and Disney have yet to share when fans can expect to see the High Republic era series, The Acolyte, will hit our screens outside of the vague windows of this year. 6 months ago, I was the first to report that The Acolyte would release sometime this summer. That was me. I was the first one as I read it like that. No, it's Bespin. 6 months ago, he reported it. Okay.
It's okay, Kaleido. You can take it if you want.
Because I bought you McDonald's last night.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
How I became the all-time best scooper. I just bought the other one's McDonald's. Okay, I was the first to report that Acolyte would hit release sometime this summer, a few weeks ago. Collider exclusively reported shared a hard date for the series premiere on June 5th. Lucasfilm and Disney have yet to confirm the Collider report, but I'm inclined to believe it. Now, with the series less than 3 months away, by the way, the Collider thing, for me, the only thing I'm sore about is they should have sourced Bespin as, this was reported by Bespin Bulletin and we've heard it too. And the exclusivity could have been the June 5th date. But once again, the big boys want to be the big corporate boys, and they kind of are. But in order to do that, they have to literally work off the backs of fan sites to do the work and the research for them. And then they go and then they call up a source and go, hey, I saw on Bespin Bulletin or Making Star Wars that so-and-so's happened. Okay, exclusive. What I just heard is the most important thing. Mando's going to be a movie, and it's just like, fuck off. Suck my dick. All right. Now with the series less than 3 months away from the release, it's being reported that a trailer is currently being prepared that will likely release soon. This feels like a well, duh moment with the series hitting the small screen in June and we're already in March. However, it's coming from an individual who has shared accurate trailer release windows and runtimes in the past. Cryptic 4K Qual. So, and then the Cryptic took to X to do an excrement to share that the Acolyte trailer is currently being, and that wasn't a diss at him or them, by the way, is currently being prepared, and that the episodes will not boast runtimes of 60 minutes, but that the episodes themselves fluctuate from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, just like everything else they've ever done, practically. What was the most consistent? Andor probably was like the one that was like the longest, but that show was about nuance. Most Star Wars shows are not, so most of them wouldn't be that long, I would say, but however, Cryptic stressed that there's still a fair bit of time before the release of the series, so the runtimes could change slightly before the official release, and that they'd be sure to inform fans of the final runtimes closer to release. I know most readers won't assume this, but unfortunately some will, so I must make it clear. Just because the X user is sharing that the runtimes would alter before the official release, you won't see a 45-minute episode become a 60-minute episode. It'll likely just be a few minutes either side of what is reportedly it is now. So you're not going to see, they might cut a scene or two, they might add a scene or two, they might let something play a little bit longer, but you're probably realistically on something that long, a director's cut would probably be no more than 4 to 5 minutes at most. And I agree with you there, man. The Acolyte, which is set during the High Republic era, will follow. This is just the normal spiel about what the series is, about how it's the dark side intrigue and who's in it, and all the Squid Game guy, and Daphne Keene, and Manny Jacinto, and Jodie Turner Smith, and
I can't see what you're doing because I do this on the phone. I like to imagine you just remembered all these people's names, and I'm just reading it.
Yeah, I'm not reading it. I just
remembered it.
Yeah. Because I'm like a genius, kind of. Like I can do amazing things like that.
Right.
But Royal Fino says Andor's average was 39.20 seconds. I guess when you average the whole thing out. So there you go. I mean, and that right there feels like the longest one. The Book of Boba Fett actually had the highest average of 42 minutes. Interesting.
But again, all averaging around 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's like clear, like the goal is 45 minutes, and you cut some fat, or you might need to add some. That's just how it goes,
And also, you don't know in the cut when we get on Disney Plus, they count the recap from the week before in the runtime.
Yeah,
and it's not like when 4K is getting this stuff now. If the recap is included, I don't think it is. So. Right. You just have to add on 2 minutes either side of it, just to include a recap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, So, okay, I'm gonna give Rob a chance to Rob out, and Rob, you weren't from the Celebration trailer. You're skeptical, right? You're not sold. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'm not sold, and I was before the trailer.
So
I
you
was
were
sold.
just sold conceptually.
Conceptually with the people involved.
Conceptually.
I look at the people who involved, right?
Yeah.
Like I like Headland. I like the previous things that she's made. I like everything that she was saying, right?
Yeah.
And I thought bringing someone who's made some mature, off the high concept, content, entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing that to a prequel setting sounded interesting to me, right? With a different take, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me, I think the best character coming out of the Phantom Menace was Darth Maul. Right? So
Was there a character there?
hey, you know what? That's why it was the best, right? That's why it was the best.
That's why Rob prefers short run times rather than that 60-minute dream runtime fans think that they want. Which
unless
is just
it's
more time.
Unless it's Tony Gilroy, he can go
more
on
time
9
to
hours.
fuck it up, though, right? Yeah. Outside of Gilroy, for most people, you're just staying at the party too long, But sorry.
Yeah, and Star Wars is hard to make, so the longer you go, the more money it costs, and it's not money you see on screen.
Yeah.
Like it's like, guys, the Star Wars movies are like 2 hours on average, so you're like every episode needs to be half a movie. Like that doesn't make any sense financially. Like it just doesn't. In quality wise, you're not going to get. There's no way you get a theatrical visual effects quality film in a TV show at 8 hours and then complain that Disney spent 225 million on something. Like they would spend 225 million on one movie. They spent 300 million on one Indiana Jones movie. Like imagine if Indiana Jones would be divvy up against 8 hours. I mean, it would look 10 times worse. Like it just these so 30 minutes actually is a thing that makes it, you get in, you get out, they could go longer. They could go more than 6 episodes. I think television works best at the 13 episode mark per season. That's just me.
8 episodes? This is right.
Yeah, I mean, Daredevil was at 13 episodes. That gives you some character-based episodes that maybe they already have a set, and that's the episode where we learn more about a character. People call those fillers, but that's actually we learn about characters. That's why TV works more than movies,
Mm-hmm.
But to get back to the trailer, once I saw the trailer, and I understand it was low quality. I know the difference, right?
Yeah. Well, you do know the difference, but you also cannot make a final determination.
I can't, but I can see the lenses they're using. I can see the type of shots they're going for. I can see, like that was stuff shot on a soundstage and not, indicative of the final product. Mm-hmm. But what we did see when we saw the Jedi, I was like, oh man, it's Hallmark Jedi again, dude. Like I just,
Didn't you just fight with me about that? Where I said that looked terrible, and you were like, "That's fantastic."
It didn't have to. No, I told you it doesn't have to look terrible, but they consistently go with people who don't have any artistic ways of composing shots. They just shoot things straight on, as is. So again, this is also where I think you get an anime studio. All this changes. I mean, look what Studio Trigger did with Cyberpunk series, right?
Yeah, but we need to grade them on what's there, not like what.
Well, I'm just saying, like you get a lot of money for your
right. But I mean, it's just like
for your buck, like the Ronin. They did the Ronin thing, 8 minutes of that, and that's pretty cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
but they did it. But they did that. They did do that.
They did that. But where's the series, Jason? I read the book. Where's the series? Where's the whole thing?
They gave you what you maybe.
I want 8 minutes of Acolyte, and I want a series of the
maybe what you want. Maybe that's all there is to it.
No, there isn't. There's a whole book. There's way more. There's not all.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe the juice for the squeeze. Maybe for that's.
No, they just have no. If I had to guess what it is they don't have a strong anime presence on Disney Plus. People aren't buying. Anime fans aren't buying Disney Plus for anime. They would have to put the Ronin on Crunchyroll or Netflix as well as Disney Plus for that to work.
Yeah,
I was telling Jason about like as obviously an anime fan as well. Like there was a lot of discourse around Disney getting the second season of Tokyo Revengers, which was really big in its first season, and the fall off of it has been massive because Disney acquired the rights for the second season, and it hasn't had the viewership, but people aren't seeking out for it because it's not having the right promotion or anything. So yeah, like you are right that Disney do not know how to handle anime, even though they've acquired a bunch of it for release, like Bleach and Undead Unluck. They do not know how to do it. So yeah, they wouldn't know how to market a Star Wars anime. The smart move would be to put it on Crunchyroll. There's a relationship between Hulu and Crunchyroll, so it could work that way. But the Star Wars fans would tune in anyway. Just they tune in for Bad Batch, they're going to tune into the Ronin. But if you want it to be wider than that, then yeah, it would have to be on Crunchyroll. But yeah,
Right.
Disney as a whole don't know how to market anime.
So okay, I asked Rob. Rob did see the bootleg of the trailer. We had a few of them sent to
I
us
wasn't impressed.
from people. You were in the room, Bespin,
Mhm.
and you saw it actually as it was intended to be seen that day. What was your impression of that trailer? And do you think that trailer is going to be the bare bones of this trailer, or do you think it's going to be just that was just a trailer reel put together for the event, and we shouldn't expect too much of that stuff to be seen again?
But Disney like to reuse a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Example being at one of those at the Disney Investors Day in 2020.
Every
They
one of their
showed-
movies is a sequel, so point taken.
Yeah. They showed off the a featurette for Kenobi, which showed a bunch of concept art and had interviews with Ewan and Deborah. And we didn't see it. They blacked out the screen whilst it was
Little
airing.
Debbie, as we call her around here.
And 9 months later, for Disney Plus Day, I think they released it for us to see.
Right.
So they like to reuse stuff. And even after Celebration last year, they were going to like different like TV events, like the Upfront event, and they were showing the same trailers for the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew as they had shown at Celebration. So they were still using it. So I think we'll likely get a very similar trailer for the Acolyte as we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, even if it's just the bones of it, I think we'll get it.
Right.
Obviously, whilst I was watching it, they were like, on stage saying that you got to bear in mind this is still in production, and it's not even fully in the post production process. So how it's going to look isn't going to be how it's going to look when it comes out. But for a work in progress trailer and series, it looked good to me. Yet the final shot, which is the thing Rob seems to have the biggest complaint about, when all the Jedi are stood in Wales whipping out their lightsabers, because that's where that scene is.
And that's actually on a location, right? That's
in
that's your backyard, basically.
Yeah. That was where I got chased with Bucky then. That is there. Yeah. I assume they built a stage for it as well somewhere, but yeah,
Sure.
like that all that like forest scene stuff where they look like they're in more like darker, like orangey gold robes or whatever. That was all in Wales. That was like primarily what they shot in like 3 or 4 different locations here.
Yeah.
So that is a real place. But they did it. But the shot itself doesn't look great because, like I said, it's front facing. It's all pulling lights. You know what I mean? It just that doesn't look good. But the rest of the trailer looked good to me.
It's weird. That shot on location, it looks like it's in a soundstage on Hallmark.
But that's the bootleg part. That's where the bootleg part is probably biting you in the butt, because it does look.
I
like
thought
that,
this shot looked good, and I can't wait to hear them talking the most. I can't wait to hear them talk. No, the makeup on the.
Once again, Rob, in the Phantom Menace, they are all hard Asian stereotypes. By the third movie, some are like magnetize. So they
you're saying this guy's gonna talk like Jimmy Stewart? Us little Nemodians.
I think they're going to be voiced by Ving Rhames. They're just going to go completely. They're just going to overcorrect the other way.
Yo, man, if they're all voiced by Ving Rhames, I'll fucking marry one of these Nemodians, man. That guy's a true mensch, dude.
So
it looked good.
Oh Jesus,
what
man!
The fuck just happened?
We just entered fucking Spreezy's house, dude. Like, look, that's Spreezy training all those tennis players. Right?
Well, so like this right here looks like the Star Wars that you would expect from it looks a little. Actually, I'd say this even.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that shot.
Surprisingly, this looks dingier than what we get in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it looks better than the Phantom.
And then this looks cleaner than what we get in Phantom Menace. Even
that looks like that same set that they were doing the Anakin Obi-Wan flashback.
Yeah,
You know?
I want to Order 66. All of these guys, they look like fucking nerds.
Here's my problem with this, right? And it goes back again to one of my biggest gripes about the prequels was the use of material design in the prequels was something out of the big box stores of the late 90s, early 2000s. It looked like the worst parts of California Adventure when they first built it, and it just looked like the Disney store materials. These all look like Disney store materials. What I really appreciate Gilray and them doing was taking Coruscant and giving it actual, shooting live action exteriors so you had real concrete, real moisture, real wetness. But they got to use better material design. Even if it doesn't match up with the prequels, it should look better. I mean, it just...
Yeah, right now, I can tell you that one of the big differences between the prequels and to hit your point is like when you look at the materials as it appears, these look like bad materials that are used to make these costumes. They don't look like the same materials from the Phantom Menace. There's a ton more Jedi and it's on TV.
Yeah.
So,
But that's not just
this isn't a film.
That's a Disney.
These almost look like the Price is
Across
Right
the board.
sets from the early 80s, Jason.
Well, when we
being
get to Rogue,
facetious, but
yeah, to hit on what you're saying, Bespin, like when it's a Rogue One and we're getting like pants, like cargo pants and vest and stuff, it works fine. It looks
right, but
okay.
like when you look at the TV shows that they've done, they have a issue with costuming.
Yeah,
like we always say, something doesn't look lived in.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a used universe, and that was and I still disagree with George. I think Naboo or Alderaan could have been the place for a clean planet, but changing the whole universe clean because he was like, oh, it's before the war. Nah, it was dumb. The used universe was why everyone loves Star Wars, and anytime you get all these clean ass robes and shit,
every time you get on those two places.
But even Bespin, not the dude here, but the planet, even the Cloud City had more used universe feel than what the prequels had, and that was a pretty sterile environment. So
Bespin, do you feel used?
I like being used.
Really? Tell that to your mechanic.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do, right?
Year.
We're just gonna grease you up and go to town on you, and you're only gonna owe us $2,000.
Hey, you want us to choke you or something?
If I didn't have to, if I could get out of paying it, maybe.
I'm such an asshole. This is a shot that can work, Jason, but it just requires someone with.
Well, like you know how we always talk. You taught me this, the old squint test. Whenever if the sabers were all lined up in a very uniform fashion, then it looks unnatural.
It's straight on. If they were in a circle or some kind of pattern, and the camera was like on a crane, high angle shot looking down, or low angle looking up with some drama, this is literally the George Lucas straight on, 1 point perspective nonsense, dude. That works great for it's like a Dave Dorman cover on Tales of the Jedi, but it lacks the texture and the paint of a Dave Dorman illustration. It just looks like Star Tours,
Yeah, I just lack the vision.
Yeah, I know you.
And I have never seen anybody not lack the vision.
You know who could? No, I know who could do it. Gareth Evans. He could do it.
That's not even a person.
Whatever. I'm talking.
You're just making up people.
The little guy who made the crane.
He's normal sized.
Gareth Evans.
Gareth Edwards. You're talking about Edwards.
Thank you. There's Gareth Evans. There's a fucking lot of these guys in comics. Get their names all fucking goofed up.
I always get him confused with John Edwards, the crossing over scammer.
There's a dude who fucking shot the raid. Yeah, I know John Edwards who cheated on his wife. Gareth Evans. Yeah, I get him always confused. Gareth Edwards. Yeah.
Oh, Conja Club.
Well, by the way, Gareth Evans could make it look good too. I stand by it. Go look at the Raid 2. Brilliant. Best action film ever made.
Also, kills Bugs dead. Come on, that was a good dad joke. No?
Right, the Raid. Right. Hey, you know who designed the Raid bugs? Chuck Jones. But you didn't know that. Now you do.
Who the fuck is Chuck Jones?
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. You really offended me. Right? Don't fuck with Chuck.
Don't fuck with Chuck. Don't fuck with Chuck, man.
All right, you gave us the fucking Grinch, bitch.
But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any more of those images floating around that if they're, if they are around, then they clearly are okay to like, they're not gonna strike us, I guess, if they're just like okay with them being around, I think. Right? Is that
I don't know.
sound logic? I don't know. Probably not. It's probably dumb logic. But yeah,
The
they're
trailers
like,
get taken down, the image is taken down of TikTok a lot, so I'm assuming they are striking them.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Yeah, there's this other picture here of what is it? Is it Carrie Ann Moss? Is that her name? Was that
Carrie-Anne Moss from The Matrix.
yeah, that's her right there as a Jedi. And the assumption is that Amandla Stenberg's ex Jedi character, ex Padawan, who's now either gone rogue, quit. I think she's quit for ideological reasons. Is kind of what it sounds like to me, but I don't know for certain. But it looks like maybe she's gonna try to kill her. Do you think that was Stenberg in that trailer you saw? That's like ninjaing around?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like you see her face like a few times trying to like fight Carrie-Anne Moss.
yeah.
And like when she's like sneaking through the towns and wherever. So yeah, it is her.
Right. And then we used to think this was Daphne Keene, didn't we? Am I misremembering that? But it's not now.
I don't think it is. I'm not
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I have no idea if it is. Or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. No, you don't have to have like a definitive answer.
Do you remember like
I just
when her,
I just want
like,
enough for
agents-
somebody on Twitter, like Acolyte tweets, come out and
Yeah.
say Bestman Bulletin says that's definitely her. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want to happen.
I remember her agency put her name, and then like on
Yeah.
accident, and then
Yeah.
like they like were like messaging me to like take it down. I'm like, you put it out, like
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. That was fucking funny. All right.
I think the
let
name
me
was like
see.
Jackie or something like that.
Jackie, yeah,
Yeah.
little Jekylls. And then we had these ones pop up from these are all on Reddit. They're not mine. They're not ours. We're just pulling them off of Reddit where they've been this whole time. But right here we can see is it Jung Jai? Is that his name? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, leader of
Apologize. Yeah. And then he looks like he has like a glove on. For a time, we thought he had like a robot hand, but then saw something else with him, and it's just like a cool space glove. Like he has like the power glove, but for Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But you never watched Squid Game, right?
No.
Yeah, like he's really good in it. He can carry this.
This picture right here is the whole reason Buggy Man was pissed.
This is why Buggy Man said, "You're not
You
built
ain't
for
built
that."
for this. Yeah.
That's where that comes from. If you ever hear us say that, a guy they were filming this in do I say South Wales or do I just say Wales?
It's in South Wales. It's like
South
more
Wales.
accurate, but this was
Okay.
in the Brecon Beacons National Park.
Right, Willowtown.
Willowtown, literally where Willow from.
Literally Willowtown, as we
Yeah.
call it. And yeah, so we had these break as you were going to the set, and then they were like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out!" And you're just like, "Hey man, I'm just here to fucking."
I went
like,
the day
check shit
after
out.
this hit. I'd been going anyway. Like I'd been going up for weeks at that point. But like these hit, and I went up the day later, and like they were all on high alert, because the Daily Mail got them or whatever. Yeah. So yeah. But this wasn't just in that one area. They like did it around a few other parts of Wales, but they were always filming in like forest areas and areas with like waterfalls. Is what they were like going for specifically.
Yeah, little
That's
sources of water.
right there.
Ain't no chasing waterfalls. What's that song, right? Into the rhythm.
I think it's Jason's Waterfalls. Jason's Waterfalls.
This is what I hated about like when the Daily Mail took these pictures, is because Stenberg's right there, and
on the bottom.
Yeah, that's Stenberg.
And it's Stenberg for sure.
Yeah, that's it. And every time they took pictures, like she was just always sort of like out of frame. They were like focusing on like, oh, he's in like a more Jedi costume. It didn't focus on the lead whatsoever, and she's just she was there the entire time.
Yeah,
like from what we gathered about these images, like there's like a witch-looking person, and all like Stenberg and a bunch of others all have like similar weapons. So we assume she's working for them.
Yeah.
At this point, or with them, or something. I also think this might be set in the past. It's either set in the past or in the future, because
Yeah.
Stenberg's hairstyle is different. Jung Jai's hairstyle is different. Like in this, he has shorter hair, but in the trailer, for like a lot of it, he has longer hair. And then like even like their robes and stuff are different. So this is definitely a different time. It's either in the past or in the future.
Right. Yeah, and if anybody wants to talk about anything today before we go with Star Wars stuff, send a super chat, and we'll make sure to hit on it. And we'll discuss whatever your question is or whatever your topic is. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the way that it opens up is her as a Jedi, and then we're gonna see some incident that causes the divorce, and because when we see her later on, she's complete. It feels like it's a different time. And when we see Jung Jai, he's with like little kids and not her anymore, right? So
but in this one, like in the scenes that like they were shot here, from we see from set photos, we don't know she's actually with the Jedi because they're all dressed a certain type of way, and she has like the weapon, but she doesn't seem to be using a lightsaber. She has weaponry that the other, like the woman you just passed, like they all have similar look and on the same planet with like
she has like a bow, right? She has like a quiver. Is that what it's called? The quiver?
Yeah, so there's stuff like this. Like, so it seems as if they might work with her. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But then as you get later in the trailer, like I said, Jung Jai has long hair and Stenberg's sneaking around trying to kill Carrie Ann Moss. It's all
this guy's growing a man bun. He didn't have the man bun before.
What do we call this guy? His name's Kal Naka, but we had like a name for him. The Rhyme, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I do
Man
remember.
Man Bun Chewbacca. His name is Kal Naka.
Man Bun Chewbacca. Yeah, and then right here you can see we got one of the not a Darth Maul, but
that's what I was talking about. That's like I think that she's like the leader.
Yeah.
You know, they seem to be protecting her.
And which would make a lot of sense when you get to the Phantom Menace. What do we see the Jedi doing? Brokering, sort of being a mediator between like Trade Federation and the Naboo people, and then we see them protecting her, so that way war cannot intercede into the negotiations. They must talk because the Jedi won't allow anything else, kind of thing. And then shit goes down, the Jedi protect you. So it makes a lot of sense that that's where this is going right now, and that's what this is. So I could see that for sure. I think that's a solid theory, you know. But anyways, the trailer itself, when would you predict we'd see it?
If we don't see it like at the end of March, I think we'll get it at the start of April, right? You know, you assume they might try and give us 2 trailers, right? So you want to have enough time to do 2. So
right.
That's what would be my guess. I'd assume we'd get maybe 1 a month before the show. So maybe when the Phantom Menace does get a re-release, it happens around then, like a second one, and then so you'd have to assume the first comes out at the end of this month or like start of April. But yeah, like because it's not just okay, we're going to show you Mando again. Everybody already knows what that is. They don't need to market it one way. This is different. This is a different era. It's a different show. It's unknown characters. It's you need to sell not like Star Wars fans and casual fans on this, because this the unknown to them.
Right.
So I think we'll get it like this month, end of this month. There's a bunch of like shows coming out in June. So like I think once we start seeing those trickle out, like not just with Disney, but like Game of Thrones, The Boys, The Bear, and this like there's 4 big shows coming out that month. So once you start to see them hitting, you should expect the marketing cycle for the Acolyte to pick up somewhat similar too. Because going back to last year when we were saying that this is the summer show, this is going to be the first one. At the same time, I was like saying and hearing and saying on this that they have a lot of confidence in this, and they I see it as their flagship show. That was the word, and they were comparing it to like Ahsoka marketing. Like they saw Ahsoka as the big one of last year, right? So they see it as similar to that. So yeah, I think we sort of get marketed for it soon. But also like before we move past it, like the 60-minute thing, like I don't understand people have complaints about runtimes before seeing the show or the movie or whatever it may be. Because as long as it's paced well, there shouldn't be an issue. If you come out of the 30 minutes and be like, that needed 10 more minutes, it was too fast, they didn't flush everyone out, fair enough, you know? Or if it's 60 minutes and you're like, that really dragged. I felt the length of that episode. It should have been shorter. But I don't understand why people complain about a runtime before seeing an episode.
Yeah, I don't usually like movies to be 3 hours long. When I watch the movie and I'm like, they could have said this in 2. They could have said this in 2:20, you know? It's just they just think more means more. They think it's going to result in there being more content. It's not going to result in more content. It's just going to result in elongated content, which is just long-winded and dumb.
Yeah,
So,
it's like I saw Dune the other day. That's 12:45 minutes. That's a long movie. But I said to you after I saw it the day I saw it, I was like, I actually think it could have benefited from another 10 to 15 minutes. You know, and which makes it even longer. Not because I just want more Dune. I just think that certain moments could have benefited from it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever make a judgment on runtime until you've seen it.
Right.
You know, like that. And I think that's why the Star Wars shows are very fluid in their runtimes. They're never just a set 40 minutes. They're never just a set 45. You'll see some drop as low as when you take away the recap and the end credits. Sometimes they're just like barely 30 minutes, right? Like in some of the Mando episodes. So I just think it is called whatever's called for on whatever episode.
Think we'll get 2 episode drop on the first on the June 5th, if that's the date.
I would do too. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be my hope, because that might also, chances are, I mean, there's always a chance Cryptic Quality HD 4K, whatever the name is, knows exactly all of the episodes, all 8 of the runtimes. For all we know, they do. But also, there's a good chance that they only know the first couple of them, since those would be likely be submitted to the ratings boards earlier, if that's where the stuff is coming from. And so we could have a thing where we have, like, you know, a 50-minute first episode and then a 30-minute part, but that 30-minute part might be full of action, and we're, you know, the culmination of that moment, of that arc that we're getting right there.
I would do depending on how the episodes are paced and depending on how much happens within those. You go look at Andor, right? Like, we all love Andor here. It's our favorite thing, like in TV that they've done, Disney and Star Wars. But they needed to give people 3, because I think if you just gave people the first 2, they might not have stuck around. The people that did stick around might not have, because you have the culmination of that arc in the 3rd episode. That's where more of the action is. That's where the big climax is. So I think that was smart. So I think if Acolyte does something similar, not that they'll have like a designated arc for each thing, but if the first episode is kind of boring, you need the second one if it's got a bit more action. You need to keep people invested. Because another problem I think that we might have with the Acolyte is the Andor problem that we had the first go around.
Which one?
Andor was supposed to come out at the end of August in 2022, was it?
Yeah.
And it was sandwiched between House of the Dragon and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I remember coming on here like before. Do you remember people saying this delayed because of She-Hulk? It was airing or something. I was like, no, it's because of like the data that they have, which is like telling them it's got to compete with these 2 big shows, like 2 of the biggest shows of the year. And you're going into this window in June, and it seems to be the first show that comes out, but you still have The Boys season 4, which is The Boys is a very big show. House of the Dragons coming out that same month, and The Bear, which has only grown in popularity with each season coming out. So they might have the problem of trying to sell this show in amongst 3 of the biggest shows of the year, which already are established and have a big following. So
Jonesy.
Member Jonesy. You can best way to support the show is to be a channel member. Rob, did you get water on you? You became evil, Rob, when you dissed the prequels. Everything was much better thought out before. Did Doug change all X-Wings for the Phantom Menace? No, he invented new things.
Yeah, he just took Jerry's designs for the original X-Wings and turned them into Jedi Starfighters. I mean, sure, it was all really original. Sure. Yeah, Space Whales, totally fucking original, right? all that. Yeah, right. Look, Space Nouveau was something that conjured up by Ian McCaig and Doug Chang, and I think it's a great look, and I think it should have been for Alderaan. They didn't need a new planet called Naboo. It would have been nice to see Alderaan, since we never really got to see it in the original trilogy. Turning the rest of the galaxy into an unused universe, into a big box Best Buy Disney Store looking universe, was dumb and looked horrible, and was complained about at the time, and has not held up very well on repeat viewings. Now, the lighting on Coruscant and Revenge of the Sith, I have said consistently on the show, is very good. It's very good. But when you get into Sheev Palpatine's stupid offices in the Jedi Temple, it all looks like a Disney store again, and it just falls apart. So yeah, I don't like the material design in the prequels at all, and I'll diss them all I want, Jonesy, because I'm right. So there you go.
No,
don't feed me after midnight. It's not water. That's the trick.
I think everybody disagrees with you, though.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. So that's how that works.
I don't know. They really like that Coruscant.
Yeah, well, sure. Until they see it on Mando season 3, and they go, "Why? It looks cheap." I'm like, no, that's exactly the way you last left it. No,
they were pretty happy about it. They were pretty happy about it.
Look bad. Look better on Andor. 10 times better than
Andor. But you're moving the goalpost. You were talking
about
a movie in 1999. Now you're talking about a show in 2022.
Yeah, but Bespin, sorry, Mando is done in the same year. It looks exactly the same. It looks better in Andor. So,
yeah.
No, I'm talking about the same things. So no, I'm not.
Well, you literally started talking about 1999, then you moved over here to over here.
Well, that's what Jonesy wanted to talk about. But I told you then they continued that look in Mandalorian season 3, and it looks like shit compared to Andor. So yeah, there you go.
That's because it's I would say that I love it in Andor, but Andor is actually the least consistent in that way, in that it's all green screen shit, and then that one uses real architecture.
No, Luthen's little shop looks better than any shop in the prequels. That's just a shop.
There's no shop in the prequels.
Huh? Yes, there is. Watto shop. What are you talking about?
I don't even know how to engage with you on this one. This is like so.
You told me there's no shop in the prequels, and I just told you Watto has a fucking shop, and it looks.
You're talking about, but you're talking
more
about
real
Coruscant.
and lived in than even Watto stuff. You on Coruscant? All right. Well then,
I mean,
yeah, but Luthen stuff is regal. So if you go to Palpatine's little mini office in Phantom Menace where he's talking to Amidala, that looks.
You're
cheap
stretching.
Too. No, it doesn't.
You're stretching Fantastic Four.
I'm not stretching. The material design looks bad, dude.
I mean, it looks good in Andor. I agree with you, but it's just I know that I could not imagine comparing Luthen's shop to Watto's shop and being.
And they look the best in the Phantom Menace compared to what eventually got worse and worse with the all digital sets in the prequels, which is no different than the volume. Yeah. You're getting the same result.
I would say you're right and you're wrong. I think you're right, because when you get to Attack of the Clones and they move to the digital camera for the first time, and they try to make the whole thing on that digital camera, it suffers and it looks good. It doesn't look good. It looks flat. But then when you get to Revenge of the Sith and you get Coruscant, most of those visual effects and those establishing shots in Coruscant, I think, are
but until the interior sets, those still look as cheap as Attack of the Clones. There's no difference. But the exteriors look great. The work that ILM did on the exteriors on Coruscant holds up to this day. I think it's some of the best lighting they've ever done. It's not like I'm over here just shitting on everything. I'm telling you what's brilliant.
Is it fair? I mean, when you go to do a shot and you decide I'm going to use a green screen to do this shot, and then Tony Gilroy's like, I'm going to use brutalist architecture to do this shot, and then to like compare them as if they are
on interior sets that have nothing to do with green screen. When it's just, I'm talking about the materials that were used to build the Jedi Temple look cheap.
But you moved the goalposts on that. You were talking about exterior. You started with the exterior, so then you moved into interiors.
Okay, but when I said Andor and Coruscant, you see real concrete and stuff, but I'm talking about interiors as well. Like Mon Mothma's apartment looks like a real actual place with real materials. It looks expensive. Because when you get to Padme's apartment in Attack of the Clones, and it looks cheap.
But it's 2002, Rob.
No, but it's
2002, and they're figuring it out.
Jason, They had plenty of Titanic was made in 1997 and it looks more ornate.
It looks like shit today. When you watch Titanic, it looks like
it looks like
shit.
Jason, you're
Titanic
out
is a
your mind.
shitty. Looks like a 1997 shit movie.
The Titanic itself does not look like a
you're just in love with James Cameron and think he can't do anything wrong.
No, I do think he can do things wrong.
When you watch Titanic today, it looks like
I
that
don't
movie
like
2012.
Terminator 2 3D.
You know, in 2012,
the Universal Studios.
have you seen 2012? Have you seen 2012?
2012
with Cusack,
yes,
and he drives around, and it's just like stuff is happening, and like there's almost no.
That's not what it looks like.
That is what Titanic. No. I take my daughter to see Titanic. I just recently saw Titanic like 2 years ago in the theater, and it does not. It looks it looks like Titanic can be criticized as hard as Attack of the Clones today.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can. It literally
can. They literally built a giant ship and lifted it up and down. Attack of the Clones was done on a blue screen.
That's just you liking
fucking Starbucks coffee. It's not the same thing, Jason.
I watched the movie and I didn't care that the ship got lifted up and down. It doesn't matter.
Jason. No.
Yeah.
No. You're out your fucking mind, dude.
No.
There you go.
No.
Thank you, Zach.
CGI from the 90s looks like CGI from the 90s. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care even the best CGI from the 90s.
But I'm talking about the materials of the actual sets, Jason. I'm not talking about the CGI. Fine. I'm not even. I stand to say on the Phantom Menace, the pod racers look the most Star Warsy, but the puppets fall apart. They're not as good as Jim Henson puppets.
I think the puppeteers weren't given what they needed. I think that there was an internal let's let
George should have gone with Jim Henson, but he cut corners.
No, that's not what George should have done, because that wasn't George. See, here's the thing. The artist's intent is what matters. The artist intended to push digital filmmaking. The artist intended to move away entirely from physical
digital characters.
But nobody knew that, Rob. Nobody
knew
fucking
it. No, they knew it because Jason.
No. If you're gonna take a quote from the beginning and be like, "Oh my God, I gone too far this time," no, they didn't know. They were getting the results back. Everything was conceptual in a large degree in 1997.
He knew that when they realized they couldn't do the Nemodians as CGI characters as depicted in the Jug Chang production art, and they had to move to puppets at the last second. Right?
It wasn't a last second change, I don't believe.
There you go. So they had plenty of time to go hire the best puppeteers in the business, the guys, Jim Henson Studios, but he went with the UK guys and they're not as good.
No, George wanted to do a very specific throwback thing with the Nemodians, and when he did it, you didn't like it.
But none of the puppets are good in that one. None of the pod racer puppets are good. The Nemodians aren't good. They're not. The puppetry in that film is not good. And any of the prequels, compared to what was done with.
I wouldn't even. I don't even really note the puppetry in the prequels, because there's not really anything notable about the puppetry in the prequels for the most part, unless it was
all the pod racers.
But all right,
except for Sebulba.
We did it. James Cameron's the hack. George Lucas is a visionary. Coruscant looks great. The Titanic looks bad.
And Best been starving. Show's over.
No, I'm kidding.
Show's over.
I'm kidding. No, I just
congratulations.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that when you go and you start holding something from a visual effect that's done a different way, like if they were done the same way with the same intention, then it's like, they're doing this show with the intention of 2002. They're using the same materials and it looks bad. Like, when I look at modern Star Wars, when I look at Book of Boba Fett, and I look at Mando season 1, and I look at Mando season 3 and shit like that, I think that stuff is all completely fair to judge against itself. Kenobi versus Mando season 1, completely fair, because they were done in the same spot, in the same tech, around the same time. So I think that right there is like, and with the same intentions. That's why like I like the actual story of Kenobi.
The material design of Attack of the Clones could be compared to the material design of Gladiator, which had come out a year before, and Gladiator looks 10 times better than anything in Attack.
Oh my God, Gladiator looks like dog shit today.
You're comparing it to today, Jason. You're throwing you got to compare it to 1999.
Yeah, I can do that because Gladiator has CGI flags just flying in the air with no stick on them, just covering up shots and shit.
Well,
Gladiator
the armors and the
looks
materials
like dog shit.
And all the interior sets look better than anything in the prequels. So
that's completely, once again, that's like going like, oh, this Olympiad.
Bring up a movie from
runs-
that time, and you tell me it makes no sense. Why you bring up something for now? I mean, Jason, this is
no, because you keep pivoting between digital effects and there being something tangible and physical in the world.
The physical sets. I'm not talking about the digital effects. You keep talking about the digital effects.
So your argument then is that if the physical sets in the prequels are bad.
Yes.
There weren't any practically.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, you win. You win.
There were plenty of practical
There was
sets.
like a fucking chair with some like molding over it, and they're like, that's where that thing is gonna be. Like,
no,
I don't know.
That's... You want to whip the fucking books out tomorrow? Let's whip the fucking books out. I'll show you the practical sets. I'll show you the fucking blueprints for all
I could do the same thing and just show you 45 slides of blue screen and green screen sets and make the same point, though.
And I'm telling you, the materials that I used were shit. So,
no. See, this is where you are completely fucking wrong. The materials on the stuff in the prequels is all antique stuff that they went around buying. And fabrics that they went around collecting around the world.
Yeah. The big scooper in Anakin's place that you could buy at Playco, that little scoop game, that was real antique, right? His little backpack with the Velcro, like little straps, real
Let me
antique,
ask you this.
basically.
With that point, do you feel
Such
like
a
you've
used
won?
universe with that clean backpack?
Do you feel like you've won with that point? Do you feel like when they go around buying sex worker materials from prostitutes in the 1800s to create Padme's costumes, and your thing is like, oh, I saw a thing from real life.
Not
like
the same as a used universe. That's literally a brand new backpack, and he's supposed to be a slave on a fucking planet in the distant reach of the universe. Like, no, it looks like shit. Like, sorry.
Nah, that is nitpicking to an insane degree, because that's
nitpicking to the Star Wars degree. It was an argument at the time, Jason. That's not.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No one was complaining.
Well, you were hanging out with Rob, all right? So.
Oh God, it was you making the fucking argument to your friends, and them just going, "Okay, Rob."
Yeah, nobody complained about the backpack. Okay.
No, people were not really complaining about the backpack. That was not.
You're right. You're right.
No, it's not. It wasn't, Rob. It wasn't. You're saying something was a dominant, making it as it was a dog. Now, if you heard somebody say it, I guess, but that was not a thing that was being discussed in 1999. Go get me 5 examples of it. Go find them. You can't.
All right.
You know what I mean, though?
I'll work on that. I'll work on that. I'll work on it, Jason. And when I do, you'll be like, oh, Rob moved the goalposts. So,
no, I won't. No, Rob will move the goalposts, but
we'll see.
But
Right.
No, that was not like a problem.
Yeah.
Like nobody was looking at any of those scenes and then being like, oh man, like that fucking backpack. Like, I don't think that was ever a thing. I think that's just a thing that, like, even right here. I mean, look at it. That backpack, you don't look at the backpack and go, oh my God, look at that. It doesn't fit. I mean, it completely looks, I know this is not the best example because I can't find any good shots of it right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, real antique. Real used universe, far away, long ago. Look, it's got a little safety strap at the top too. Yeah, that's good.
Why wouldn't it have it?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it though? I mean, it can be justified.
Yeah.
It can.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like look at Shamiz. Okay.
Couldn't have been a leather backpack
Rob,
from 1914 or something, Jason.
I think you just got
no, it had to be a
here.
nice polyester with the zip cord.
We heard you, but look at the costume materials here, and then look at the ones from Acolyte, and then say the Phantom Menace has shit ones.
These I told you, we agreed that the costumes in the movies look better than the ones on the Disney Plus TV shows. I've never argued that. That isn't the argument.
Right.
I'm just saying that when the TV shows also then continue the material design of like the Jedi Temple in the Phantom Menace, which was I hated the way those temples. They didn't look like old Buddhist temples or anything. It looked like something like a big box store. That's the exact argument I've been making since day one.
Like what Dave
Hey,
says.
don't worry, Dave. I'm not taking away your fucking backpack. You get to keep it. It's there for all eternity. Right?
Yeah, literally nobody gives a shit about nobody
gives
looks
a
at the backpack.
Nobody gives a shit.
It didn't ruin any shot.
No, you're right.
But the point is,
I can't take that away from
costume designs, the costume in the prequels, and the actual tangible things. Now, just because I saw a game from the thing, look at the rest of the shit in his room. It's just like it's deciding I found a flaw. The whole thing is shit. Everything is bad.
Like you said, all right, okay.
But I agree with you when it comes to the Acolyte. Shamiz, like the artistry in just Shamiz costume compared to what we've seen from the Acolyte characters and extras. Maybe they're just showing us extras and it's like a bunch of shit that doesn't matter that's super far away, or maybe they're featured. I have no fucking clue at this point, but it's all over the place. Anyways, Dave says you're nuts. All right, we did it, guys. We did it. Yeah. All right, let's go play Fortnite. Yeah. If you want to become a channel member, support the show, that's the best way. We'll be back probably tomorrow if there's any news.
That's why I come here. I love coming here, getting told I'm a fucking asshole and I'm nuts. That's why I love doing the show, guys. That's why I come back. See you tomorrow.
I mean, kind
of
love you
all
and fucking nuts.
I love you all. Fucking give us super chats.
Well, it does. I mean,
dummies.
It ends up. It ends up going, and you're just like, oh, something else is better. Therefore, that thing is bad. Like that's kind of weird. That's a weird way to experience entertainment.
Well, that's a weird way to describe what I was saying, but okay.
Well, Gladiator.
You told me to bring up a movie from that time that takes place in. I mean, they have literally coliseums and they have coliseums and desert areas and battles. Yeah, it's the same. And the material designs to depict those things look better than the ones that were used in the Attack of the Clones.
When was the last time you saw Gladiator?
Huh? Like 4 months ago.
Because I find it to be unwatchable today.
All right.
I find it because of the visual effects, particularly. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Jason. I'm listening to Santa talk about Bad Batch right now. He does the show at the same time as us.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Bespin. How you doing over there, buddy?
Just soaking it all in.
He's watching mommy and daddy fight, Jason. It's uncomfortable. Yeah.
All right. Well,
no, I got the pop. I got my fake popcorn out to watch it. You know, it's entertaining. I feel like a podcast listener.
If you want to become a channel member, you could become a channel member for this channel, and that's the best way to support it. Or you can become a Patreon supporter. I've also posted the link to Bespin's coffee. So if you want to give Bespin a tip and help out with his bad car situation, it would be appreciated. It would help him get a McDonald's and live and work and be happy. So, anyways. We will be back probably tomorrow. If, like I said, there's any Star Wars news, I'll definitely jump on it. And if you have anything that you want to say in the comments, go ahead and we will probably see it. Rob usually sees it. I'm pretty bad with the comments, but Rob is pretty good at seeing them. And then we'll So, anyways, we'll see everybody tomorrow probably. And be cool. Stay in school. Bye.